Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Art. Happy birthday to you.
Everything we needed, we built. We had to replicate certain buildings that we weren't getting back into. We filmed the scene in my garage with the cat. We made it look like the room in there. I built it in my garage, and we brought rats in. My wife went nuts. My wife is a saint. We brought rats in the house, and we threw them in there. I borrowed my friend's cat, whose name is Scorsese. And Damien wanted the cat to look a certain way, so I tapped on the garage door. The cat looked perfect. Boom, there we go. Got it. So, you do everything. Terrifier 2, we had a little bigger crew, but it was the same thing. You wore many hats. Everybody did everything. There was nobody that did just a little bit. Everybody did a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifier 3, I think we have to be more in lanes. We're talking about maybe a $2 million budget, whatever. So we're in Terrifier 1. We didn't have to really build anything. We were in a structure. It was there. We filmed there.
Right.
We had small locations. Then, we had to replicate Art's lair in my friend Larry's place up in Long Island. We had to build his lair. Then we had to build, like I said, the rat area down in my basement because we wanted to add rats to the movie.
There were plenty of hurdles in the first
one.
No,
hurdles, the first one, yeah, but I'm saying location-wise, we didn't have to build as much.
That location, we actually had to exterminate. We had to fumigate before we walked in there.
It was bad
because it was infested. The warehouse that we shot in, it was infested with fleas. So we actually bombed the whole entire place. Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
I remember that. I was scouting it with Damien, and I'm like, Damien, something's wrong.
I remember that when I walked up and I said, "What's the matter?" And they said, "Nothing." I said, "What's the matter?"
Said, we had to keep it from Phil.
Wow.
They didn't want to tell me. I knew something was wrong.
We bombed that entire place. I think we got rid of everything.
Yeah, got rid of the cat too.
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
We did not get rid of the cat.
Okay.
We did get rid of the
fleas. Rid of the fleas. Scorsese lived a long, happy, and healthy life.
Wow.
Somebody actually mentioned Scorsese. Somebody mentioned.
There were no rats. There were no rats, though, surprisingly.
No rats.
There should have been.
Might have ate the fleas. There probably was. We were so loud in this place.
No, I saw nothing at all. We were there for a long time. We didn't.
We would have filmed
nothing. Maybe because there's no food.
Fleas ate the rats. That's what happened.
Something was going on.
So I would imagine the bathroom was the way it was as it appeared in the film. So what did you use for a bathroom? Did you actually use that, or were you going somewhere else?
Oh, no.
I used that bathroom a lot.
Yeah, no.
No. Wait. What did we do for? Oh yeah. Wait a second. We didn't have running
water.
We
didn't have running water. We rented a.
We had a porta potty dropped into that location.
Right outside.
And that's what we used for our bathroom. And then we bought all the water basically, and used the water. Yeah, there was no running water, no bathroom. It was horrible. It was hard. Yeah. The electric was terrible. There was a lot going on.
Wait. So
it was rough.
That building was condemned, right?
No, not that building.
It should have been.
That building didn't have a roof on a section of it.
Wow.
But it was never condemned. But where the girl is hanging upside down is a different building.
Okay.
And that building was condemned. When they found
Totally
matter of fact,
different.
The structure that we built is still in there because they wouldn't allow us to go back in there.
Oh no!
That structure, yeah.
Matter of fact, when he pulls the curtain away from the body and you see that stone fall, that was the actual ceiling. It just fell right then.
No way!
Are you sure? I thought that was a piece of styrofoam.
when the guy found out
it was concrete.
When the manager of the place found out we were filming, he goes, "Nah, you can't go in there. You're not allowed in there." the workers aren't allowed in there. The construction workers aren't allowed in there. He said, "You could have got killed. That's about to fall down."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built that out of a Home
Pipes.
Depot. Like it was a bunch of pipes. Yeah, and I remember like the day I put it up, Damien was with me, and I hung upside down to test it. So I figured if it could hold my weight, it could definitely hold her weight. So, but I couldn't get it out of it though, was the issue. And then and Damien was like struggling to like lifting me out of this thing. And I think I hurt his back, and I think it's a
Probably
permanent
he still
injury though.
complains about his back.
Oh
It
my
still
god.
hurts. His back always hurts.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the bathroom.
Yeah.
So the bathroom in the first one
No.
is the one that you're saying that was all jacked up, no running water. In the first Terrifier,
No,
right?
yeah, no running water. No.
Yes.
Right.
So your actress's face when she opens the damn door, that had to be real, man. It was like
That let me tell you something. When I saw that, I said nobody's gonna believe she walks into this bathroom and actually is gonna use it. You realize that, right? It doesn't matter. He goes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's gonna sell. Because that's gonna sell. It's fucking gross. We didn't have to do anything to that bathroom.
It's gross, but it's the thing. It's this. Like, if you walk into a bathroom that's used, that looks like that people are still using,
Yeah.
it's actually grosser. Like, this bathroom hasn't been used in like what 20 years, so it's not. It's bad, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
smell,
right.
and
There's
it's
not, there was nothing in there.
super
It was-
gross. No, there's stuff growing in there, but it's not the same thing.
It was
so gross.
It was, yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so George, you touched on this a little bit. So you've been involved professionally with cinematography since around 2010, starting with TV, Till Death Do Us Part. Then All Hallows Eve was your first film. You did several shorts
Right.
and TV specials. Now, between the films that you worked on, how have you developed your style to bring to Terrifier, and what do you possibly see bringing to Terrifier 3?
So I think that the style for Terrifier is more just communicating with Damien and creating a vision. You can do a lot with lighting. Like comedies are like more flat lit. Dramas are a little moodier, and then you have horror, which is like, the contrast ratio is high. It's very moody and dramatic. So it's more like just studying films, looking for a certain look, and then and finding that look to help tell the story. But it's really about communicating with your director and really putting it together, really meshing it together. So yeah, in Terrifier 3, the lighting is going to be a little different, a little moodier, a little more controlled.
Nice.
So what inspired? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you and Damien collaborated, like you were saying. But what inspired the '80s like style horror look for those shots? Because I see a lot of wide angles. You know what I mean, like old school horror and whatnot. A little bit of grain here and there.
Right.
80s style, which I absolutely loved. So what inspired that feel?
I mean, Damien liked that look starting off from All Hallows Eve. That's always been like a vibe, and which capturing the essence of that era. There's great horror films within that era, but like capturing that. I mean, we're shooting digitally, so when we talk about organic grain and stuff like that, there's a lot. Damien, the first couple of films. He was color correcting too as well. I mean, he did a lot like in the post process. But we try to collaborate as we're shooting so that in post we can get it where we want it. Like this film that we're doing now, I mean, we did a lot of research and we're really dialing it in. So as long as you're, set to go lighting wise, camera, lens, and then you figure out a plan in post ahead of time, you're like ahead of it. So you just gotta like go for the look that you're going for. And honestly, it feels right when you watch it. I mean, I love that look, honestly. And I know Damien's like a huge fan of that. Like that's what he was, always going for. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty much that.
Nice. Did you do organic?
Yeah.
Did you do organic grain with like a low ISO, or did you do more post grain?
I mean, we did a lot of testing where we would see if you go higher ISO.
I mean, higher, yeah.
But yeah, if you raise it up a little bit and you shoot normally, like you expose properly, you might have some grains in there that you can bring out in post, which is nice. But there's also a lot of other techniques that you can do. You have your filtration that that you have to think about. There's a lot that goes into creating that look. Well, outside of shooting film, it's hard because we're not, we're emulating that. You know what I mean? So it's like, but the tools are great. Don't get me wrong. Like when I first started doing this, I mean, digital was not where it is now. It's like I've seen cameras progress like just rapidly. So it's like now we're at a point where it's like almost hard to tell. Like it's getting better and better. So it's really that. But your prep work, everything comes into play when you're doing that stuff.
Nice.
A lot of tests, so
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Phil, you were talking a little bit about the sets and building in upstate New York. So with Terrifier 3, do you see yourself doing the same thing where you're going to be building sets again in upstate New York or in your basement or anything like that?
That's a tough question. I know we're going to be building sets. Now, whether it's going to be me and George building them.
We already started building today.
Yeah, I know. Whether it's me and George and a couple of guys getting together and building some sets, or I have a friend of mine that's very, very hands-on as well. But we may be able to, which we're going to try and find out, hire a team that could build a few sets. We do have some sets that have to be built. They're elaborate. Can I handle it? Yes. Damien, yes, I can do it. But that being said, the time constraint on this one is a little different. You got to make sure that it's done. If you have people that know how to do it, that have done what we need in the past, then you let them have at it. But there's definitely going to be some stuff that we have to build, but not to the extent. I hope not to the extent of Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
I think that played really well into everything too, having the removable walls so you can expand the shots and everything. That seemed to work out really nice.
Yeah, that was those sets were pretty elaborate. I mean, I think we had 5 or 6 sets in the barn. Matter of fact, the Clown Cafe set. Whoops, sorry about that. The Clown Cafe set was built in 3 days, and that set is, I think, 30 by 30 and 14 feet high. So, yeah, that was a lot of work. We have some sets on this one that are going to be wild to build. That's why I'm saying we may have to bring in a company, but if we cannot, I actually have the plans right here. So, if they don't come through, I'm getting ready to be ready. Like I said, hopefully we have a crew that knows exactly what they're doing to make these sets work the way we want. If not, we have the right people that could. We've done it in the past. We could do it again. I guess that's the best answer.
Mm-hmm. All right, and George. So, hearing Damien, he's looking to return to more of the earlier roots of Terrifier. So, is that going to change your cinematography style going into it? Are you going to go a little bit more grittier, or are you going to stay along the lines of what you did in part 2?
I mean, in terms of 3, I feel like grittier. It's going to be more controlled. A little more filtration, a little more filmic. Yeah.
Well, we're going a little darker in 3 than we were with 2, which is bringing it back towards the All Hallows Eve, which I had nothing to do with.
Interesting.
So
yeah, it's gonna be more controlled. Darker. creepier.
So we're sticking more to this still 80s style filming, still just, story and whatnot is more darker and grittier.
Yeah, it's gonna be darker, grittier. Right.
That's cool.
It's different. I'd say it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be Terrifier. It's not gonna be Terrifier 2. Terrifier 3 is gonna be unique. Yeah.
Nice. Love it.
Involving the story without repeating it.
It gets tougher each time, but yeah. That's why we got Damien. We throw him a bone. Yeah, Damien writes something good.
Yeah.
All right, and then Phil, you've kind of talked about it throughout the interview with learning to pull back a little bit and having mentioned working on special effects, and we were talking about the club that you built before we started the interview. So special effects wise, will you be working on that in 3? Is there anything you can kind of tease and say, oh man, well we have this one special effect that's in the works that's going to blow people's minds? Or
yeah, no, I could tell you nothing about that. I could tell you that we hired on a special effects team, so it's going to be, it's still all practical effects.
Nice.
I say all practical effects because if you took the CGI in Terrifier 2, you may get 1%, not even 1% of what we did. An eyeball and a face movement in 2 scenes, and that's it. The rest is all practical effects. So we're sticking with that, but we have a team coming in. Damien's going to explain to them what he wants. I'll bitch and moan. But Damien keeps saying this. Phil hates this, but we're hiring a team. He wants to direct. But yeah, I went out there. We sat with them. We looked at their work, and I mean, I don't know what's out there publicly, so I won't go any further than the fact that very good team going to be doing the special effects on this.
Awesome.
But I'll get my hand in there somewhere. There will be something with mine on that screen.
Yeah. That's awesome. Quick question for you guys both on my end. So before Terrifier 3, like you're saying, Phil, hiring all this, crew and everything else, when you guys got your original crew from, All Hallows Eve, the Terrifier 1 to Terrifier 2, what was that process like going from super indie to now where you guys are going? Like, what's the differences from super indie, looking for a crew, that process versus now?
When you talk about Terrifier and Terrifier 2, it was I know a guy and he knows a guy, and we met the guys, and if they fit, they stuck. If they didn't, they didn't. Again, like I said, we started with a very small nucleus of the Fuzz on the Lens boys, a couple of other people, Olga, and of course George, myself, Damien, and that was the team. Did I miss anybody, George? I don't. I mean, there's Jackie. Oh yeah, Jackie. Jackie was probably. Then Britt came on much later. Scott was our prop master, but he was more like jack of all trades. He was the prop master. He was the PA. He was the special effects blood master. He did a lot for us. And then you had Larry and Rob who helped us with the sets pretty much. And so that was your team, and it was by word of mouth who we knew. To be honest with you, it was simpler with the low budget than it is now. Because now you got a lot riding on it. You got bigger expectations. You have people being brought in from all different areas that you've never sat with, never met with, and I'm talking to them, and I'm more of a, Zoom is cool, but I'm more of, I want to meet you in person, I want to sit with you. But at least Zoom, you could see somebody's eyes, you could see their reactions to a question or to an answer, and when you're doing that, you tend to get a better read on a person. I like it more in person. But I think we're building a nice team, but you won't know until you're actually in the field. Like I said, it's like a honeymoon. it's great. This is the best. We all love one another. Then all of a sudden something goes a little wrong, and you got to hope somebody doesn't go, I didn't do it. He did it. That one did it. Because if that starts happening, you fracture that nucleus, and you don't want that on a set. You want cohesiveness. You want people, like I said, pulling or pushing in the same direction. And that scares me, because we're going from a 9-person crew to probably a 35 person crew. So you have all these new people, all these new attitudes, all these new things, hoping that everything's going to just blend and be the greatest thing on earth, and we're going to create the greatest movie ever made in the horror field. But like I said, I've never been on a set, and I'm not on many, but I've never been on a set where shit don't go wrong. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. I can tell you, the script is amazing. I think the kills are going to be amazing. So I'm excited about it. Nervous about it, which I haven't been ever with any of these movies I've been involved with. I've never had like the jitters about, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Oh man, I don't know this person. Let's hope for the best. It is a lot more people. It's not just that small unit. Now you're spread out, and you're relying on a lot of people that are probably a lot more capable than me. Never mind, probably. They're a lot more capable than me. Know the industry a lot better than me, but you don't know. It's the unknown right now.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, it really is the unknown.
All right. So,
but it's
go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think once you build your relationships with everyone, and you know who's who, and like Phil's saying, once stuff hits the fan, basically that will tell you like who's who on set. Basically,
I agree.
Right? More or less. So that part right there is a little nerve-wracking, but once you figure that part out, you can deal with everything, put fires out, and figure out how to move accordingly.
Nice.
It's going to be bigger and better.
Cool.
Excited for that.
And
Now, I want to give
excited.
each of you yeah, definitely. Now, before we close out, I want to give each of you a moment to brag or gloat about something that happened in the second film that made it into the movie. So maybe it's something small that each of you worked on, and then you saw it on the screen. It's like, oh man, that's really great. It may not be important to some of the other scenes to other people, but what is the most proudest moment of Terrifier 2 that you each worked on? So George, we'll start with you on this one.
You didn't do nothing.
That is a very good question. Well, I really didn't do much, though.
I take care of it.
It's hard because you break it down in terms. What do we break it down in, like in terms of like kills, or in terms of scenes?
Anything. Like I know from a creative side on this side, like for YouTube, like there'll be things that I work on like 10 hours for a 10-minute video, and it'll be like maybe 10 seconds of an intro that's done and it's edited a certain way. It's like, man, that's awesome. Nobody will notice it but me. So it could be a kill, it can be a scene, anything.
I feel like honestly, the alley kill was like something different. There's a bunch of moments though, but really that in particular.
He wants one fucking moment.
What's that?
Just one moment. Pick something. I got two already. If you keep bullshitting and not coming up with an answer, I'm gonna have 5.
No, it's,
You want me to go first?
wait, go ahead, Phil. You go. Let me hear you.
The alley.
Yeah, what do you have?
The alley kill is a gimme. Many things happen in there that I'm proud of. Going into it, Damien asked me to get the mouth to move. We wanted skeleton in there. We molded the head in the silicone and everything, which I had a lot to do with. We built it together and everything. Then he says, "Make the mouth. Can you think you can make the mouth open?" I said, "I don't know. I never did that before." Got it to work. Then he goes, "How are we going to do this on the bed?" I said, "Well, when I did Joe's War, I made a fake bed. Let's do it again." And we did that. I had, I'm behind the wall pulling up fish wire to make her mouth open. I got a PVC stuck in her head to lift her head up like this. Pull that. Steve is under the bed with 2 PVC pipes moving the arm and the leg gently with the blood pouring down the bed. And to me, that's probably a very excitable moment for me because of all that work that was put into it and the way it came out. And it was the first time I did anything type of animatronic type thing. The second thing, which to me is one of the, to this moment, like I could look at the alley kill and go, hey, yeah, it came out nice. I'm really happy about it. But the abracadabra kill, that as soon as the cleaver hits the neck, to me, that's the most realistic sliced neck ever. And it took a lot because me and Damien worked on that a lot. That was our third head that we worked on. The neck kept collapsing.
Right.
So we had to gouge out the inside of the foam. And I left just traces of how your neck would be from your veins and everything with the foam, which was very intricate. And we packed it with meat and tubes to show the blood. And when Steve hits it with the cleaver, to me, when not the one in the head, the one in the neck, to this moment I still go, whoa, that's insane. George, I hope you thought of something without listening to me.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it was more or less the alley kill, but pretty much all of that bedroom was great, like good. Another moment too is actually the tank. The tank, putting that tank to, like, making a tank to hold a human isn't that easy. Like, you think about it, you're like, oh, we just need a big fish tank, but it's not that at all. It's not. It's like it takes a lot. Phil had a welder friend come in and like weld like a cage around it to hold it together. It was this massive thing, and it actually held and worked. And then lighting it too was a little tricky because I didn't want to put any electric over the tank, so no lighting hanging over, but I wanted to light it overhead, so I just I shot it into a mirror and bounced it back, and it worked
nice.
out.
Yeah.
Do you remember all the things we went through for that?
So those
it's just coming back to me now. We're gonna hold a piece of plexiglass in my pool. Phil, remember that?
Oh yeah, all the different tanks that we had.
Yep.
We were gonna get a tank. Remember the tank from China? It was gonna be a cylinder at first, but it's like there's a lot. Then you can't just go around and buy a giant tank.
Nope.
They don't have
Really? Oh.
You got to go to like SeaWorld or they don't. They're rare. They're not.
That all came about out of
common.
frustration.
I mean, you can't just buy them.
We couldn't get anything. I said, "Fuck it, I'll build it."
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We built it.
Yep.
Very
We shot that on
Right
my
in Phil's
patio in
yard
the
too. We
backyard.
shot the whole thing in Phil's yard.
Yeah, much to my wife's
up.
dismay, because I told her, "Don't
Yeah.
worry. As soon as we're done, I'm getting it out of here."
Hold on.
That thing sat forever.
So the tank she falls in, full with water. You filmed it in your backyard.
Yeah. Built it in the backyard. Couldn't move that fucker.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's a 1,500.
It was like
pound
1,200
tank.
pounds or something like that. It was like.
You know how we got it out of my yard? I went to Home
There you
Depot.
go.
I didn't even go to Home
Ridiculous.
Depot. They don't have heavy wheels. My friend Louis Mandarin, the kid who
Brute
framed
strength.
the top and the bottom of the tank, so in case the water was too much, even though it would have held, those 10x10s were amazing. But he helped me. He helped me with the build of it, and he brought me to this steel place, and they had these heavy duty wheels. So I screwed them on the back of the tank. We threw a big roll of bubble wrap underneath, and we just pushed the tank over when we were done. And we had to wheel it down. Thank God I have a walkway. We wheeled it all the way down the walkway and rolled it right into a U-Haul. And we brought it upstate. Now it's sitting where it's supposed to be, by the Clown Cafe.
Wow.
Lucky.
Wow. That's amazing.
Middle of the winter, I got my water on outside. Thank God my pipes didn't break.
Massive.
And we were lucky because I had hot water and cold water outside, so it worked out perfect. She was never in cold water.
Right.
That is incredible. So quick question, because I told you I have a background in stunts and stuff like that. How did you guys oversee the actress being?
We were
in the
very,
tent?
very no. We had a ladder, and we also had a scaffold behind it. And it was easy. She wasn't attached to anything.
Right.
All she had to do. She's very good, by the way. She stood under there banging. At first, she didn't want to hit the glass. She was fake hitting the glass, and I said, I told her to come up. She came up. I said, try to get out of it. I said, if that thing breaks, it'd be amazing. That's an inch plexiglass. Ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So she went back under, and man, I tell you, she could stay underwater for a long time, exerting herself, hanging on the glass. But it was easy for her to come up, and once she came up out of the water, there was somebody right on the scaffold to grab and help. So she was, we're very, they're very careful with things like that.
Nice. I like how George just jumped in. He's like, "We were more careful than that, man." It's awesome.
Can you imagine being a neighbor of Phil, looking out, it's like, Phil's got somebody drowning in the tank again. Shutting the curtains.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yep, I got people I got neighbors that walk by and say, "What are you doing now?" I got a brother-in-law that calls me Ralph Gramden. He goes, "Hey, Ralphie, what are you doing now?"
There's a lot going on. You know what else was cool? The last scene with Sam in the institution was really a standout too. That was like a lot. Yeah,
probably one of the best
there's a
filmed
lot
scenes in
going
the
on.
movie.
The first time around or the second time around?
In the insane asylum.
At the
end of the film.
insane asylum.
Yeah, with the tumor? Or the head?
Believe it or not, that turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to us when the other movie came out, Malignant, and they did that scene because our scene was a little weak. We sort of kind of rushed it.
The padded cell. We built the padded cell.
Decent. Don't get me wrong.
It came out good. The cell was really good.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We did rush some things, but like Phil's saying, lucky thing that happened because we would have never had that scene, which is, I feel, pretty solid.
Right. Yeah. The other scene that we shot, the original scene, doesn't hold a candle.
Yeah.
To the scene that made it to the film.
That's just true.
It's subpar. Not only that, it was too close to the scene in Malignant, and Malignant had millions of dollars to spend just on that scene.
And we had $15, and we made it work.
Just I got pictures of me and my wife stapling the padding and the material the material was soaked in tea bags.
Yep. It came out great though. Like the actual padded cell looked like a padded cell.
It looked real. Built it where we could take a wall away and film through it. But the other scene.
Didn't the same welder, your buddy Louis, didn't he do the bars on the windows?
Yeah, Louis welded the bars on the windows. Yeah, me and Damien made that door. It's a Luan door. I put metal around it. I cut a hole in it, put a sliding door on it, and even that was better than the original door. The original door, when Jericho grabbed the handle, I told Jericho this first time I'm meeting him, I go, do me a favor, be very careful when you touch the doorknob. It's hanging on with spit. He goes over, he touches the doorknob, it comes off in his hand. I said, what the fuck did I tell you? He looks at me like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, it was wild.
That's awesome.
But that's also filmed at a hospital.
Phil, you just made the list.
The location, it's filmed in a real hospital. I mean, I went there once when I was a kid. I remember being creeped out by the hospital. I'm like, this is a scary looking hospital. So like we had our locations, even in the first one, when you talk about, the cement falling and stuff like that, these are filmed in like real hospitals. These are really cool locations that we had access to. That helps. So.
Yep.
So you just replicate the inside.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we built it inside the hospital. We took over. Yeah, we took over one room that they allowed us. The Fuzz Boys got us a room in the hospital, and Damien told us what he wanted. George and I did a lot of
We
the
painted,
build out,
we
I
built.
believe, if I remember. Or am I taking credit for somebody else? I don't know. I don't remember.
No,
I know I
no,
put
all
some of
that
the stuff
happened.
together.
We painted
Okay.
it.
And then we
We got a toilet for
painted
prison.
it, put a fake. Yeah, took a fake wall, put it. One of those walls in there is fake because it's like a little
Right.
hallway into another room. We put a fake wall up, put a grill
Right.
on the top because it was just easier to
we
do
built,
that, so we
built
did
the
it.
whole thing out.
And it gave it some character. Yeah. My friend Louis made the steel bars on the windows. We had a. Oh no. Legit, he welded
Yeah, that's pretty
steel
Yeah.
together. Welded steel together. Yep. Real shit. The door ain't real. The door, if you threw a punch at it, it'd go right through. It's a Luan door. The wood is maybe 1/8 of an inch thick on each side.
No. Looks good. It came out good though.
It looks
Yep.
like a steel door.
I believe it.
Yeah, it does.
I believe it too, and I worked on it. I wouldn't punch it. That's for sure.
Right.
I'd be afraid. The paint
The
hardened
paint
it.
definitely hardened it.
There you go.
Great stuff. Danny, anything in closing from you?
No, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, it's amazing to hear all the behind the scenes stuff because it's every person's dream that's has this as a passion, like you guys are saying. To hear where you guys came from all the way to now that you're having like a multi-million-dollar budget, you know what I mean, etc. It's incredible. It's every person's, like I said, vision and dream for them to come true and what they're working towards. So to hear from you guys is with the wealth of knowledge, the things you had to do, the things that you're like, you know what, if we can't have the location that has all this shit, we're gonna build it, right? It's just everything that you guys put your mind to. And also it's also a breath of fresh air for the people that are like, am I doing the right thing by just trying to find someone that knows someone that and you guys are like, hell yeah, it is. This is how we did it, in order to go to this direction. So thank you guys so much for, sharing the wisdom, sharing the experience for everyone that's watching this episode, because this is going to help a lot of people that are in this world that, may feel like they're not doing the right thing, but they are. So,
Right.
Yeah. All right. So socials. I don't know if you have your socials media sites up on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, but if it is available, where can somebody follow what you're doing and get updates on things that are coming? So George, how about you? Where can people find you out if you have any social media that's available?
I have an Instagram account. I mean, it's a personal one. I do occasionally post Terrifier stuff up there, but I mean, I could give you that if you want. So yeah. So it's Monstar. It's MONSTAR Productions. That's the tag for Instagram.
All right. Bill, how about you?
I have Instagram too, but I don't know what my name is on there. I think
I remember.
What is it?
Isn't it PJ? Isn't it PJ?
I don't know. It's either PJ Falcone or Falcone.
I think it's PJ Falcone.
I could tell you this. Here's the best way for anybody to everybody knows it. ATCAS, Art the Clown Appreciation Society, is very vocal on Terrifier. Right. You got a lot of amazing fans on there. I mean, listen, let's face it. If it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be having this conversation and having all this fun. So, shout out to the fans first off. ATCAS, they picked up the ball as soon as they started getting things going. I think there's over 50,000 members, not members, whatever you want to call them.
Wow.
Subscribers is good, right?
Yeah. Members, yeah. All right, so you got. I'm not very good with social media, as you can see, but you got 50,000 members there. If I got to show something on Terrifier, that's where I shoot it. But on Facebook, it's Philip Falcone. I don't post much film stuff on there, but ATCAS has a shit ton of stuff.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I just put up a little fundraiser for a behavioral health center and the New Jersey Veterans Network that I donate to frequently. with autographed memorabilia. So on there's a lot of people. Like I said, the fans, they're the best. Coming into this horror genre, the first day I went to one of these things, I said, "Wow, what a bunch of weirdos!" And I could tell you, these fans, knowledgeable, nice as can be. I go to the Hollywood show. I stopped going when I started doing Terrifier and started meeting the people. The Hollywood show, you got a lot of people that got their nose up in the air. They are not as knowledgeable with the film work. The horror community is an amazing community. The people are fantastic. I love going to the shows just to talk to them, and thank them all. Whoever's seeing this, thank you so much, and thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you on and helping us put together our celebration of Art the Clown this month. Again, 15 years. That just blows my mind. And that's all I got to say. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Head over to Danny Vega Show on YouTube. Do the same. And that's it. So stay tuned for everything that we're dropping this month, Terrifier related. See you guys.
Take care.